The biggest thing I hated about alcohol was waking up that next day sober and thinking about what you did the night before, especially if you've done something messed up, and just sitting there and regretting that. What's up, guys? You've seen the thumbnail and the title. Let's get right into it. So I'm gonna talk about something that I haven't really talked about much on my channel. I'm usually talking about fentanyl and opiates and stuff like that, but I have been through a lot of different addictions, different forms of addictions and things like that, and I wanted to speak on my struggles with alcohol because I have had a lot of those. Alcohol has caused a lot of issues in my life. I want to say 90% of my criminal record is alcohol related. A lot of it's drug related, but alcohol related nonetheless. So I started drinking alcohol at the age of 15. I was drinking alcohol. Started smoking weed and stuff around that time. That's really when my whole addiction started, or my substance abuse started. But I started drinking. I was able to drink. I was around people that would let me drink, buy alcohol for me and stuff like that. I don't want to say any names and put anybody out, but I was drinking at 15. I remember the first time I got drunk. I ended up walking down the street. I mean, it was the craziest feeling in the world because I had never felt what it was like to be drunk before. I fell in the bathtub, and I drank 4 or 5 natural light beers. You know, the natural, not light, but natural ice. You know, that damn cheap ass shit. You wake up with a fucking hangover the next day. But I got drunk on that the first time. And I was stumbling everywhere. I was 15 years old. You know, I liked it, but I ended up passing out a couple hours later. And since then, you know, I had been a drinker. I was never really able to go to social gatherings and social events without, killing me a few beers before I go. I would always pregame before I went out. You would not catch me out unless I already had a buzz, So alcohol, and every time the weekend would hit, I was going to the store, getting beer, going to the liquor store, getting beer. Now this is later on, after I was 21 and able to buy beer and things like that. I'd get off work and go, first thing on my mind is I'm going out tonight. I'm gonna go home, get dressed, grab me a 12 pack or grab me a bottle of liquor, whichever one, maybe both. And I'm gonna start drinking. I'm gonna drink me a few beers and then I'm gonna jump in my vehicle and hit the town. Now, a big problem I've had with alcohol is I've always been quick to jump behind that steering wheel. And you can't tell me otherwise. I have been arrested for DUI 4 times in my life. So, you can look my record up, man. I've been arrested for DUI 4 times in my life. I'm fighting 2 of them right now. 3 of those were alcohol related. The last one was fentanyl related. But alcohol's been a huge problem in my life. Now, I will say this, I've never struggled with alcohol like I've struggled with opiates. I've definitely struggled way harder with opiates. My alcohol struggle was more of I just couldn't have fun unless I was drinking type of shit. I was never really addicted to alcohol. I was never that person that had to wake up every morning with a couple shots or get off work and have a beer or 2 before I go to bed. I was never that way. I could make it through the week just fine without drinking. But as soon as that weekend hit, I was turning up and I had to get me some alcohol. Had to. And usually with the alcohol followed drugs and all kinds of crazy shit. Now I want to talk about some of the shit that alcohol has got me into. Most of the fights that I've been in my life were alcohol related. I'm drunk, doing crazy shit. I got my jaw broke one time. I was drunk when that happened. I got into it with this guy and he fucking smacked me with a pipe. I've talked about it before. When I got stabbed, I was drunk. I've almost lost my life a few times. One time in particular, and I'm gonna explain this whole story in a later video, but I really hurt somebody one time. Like beat them really fucking bad. And I ended up going to jail, spending some time for assault. I got out of it really lucky. I'm lucky it wasn't an aggravated assault, damn near an attempted murder type shit. So I've gotten lucky in the court system a lot, but that night that happened, I've actually got a scar on my hand. I don't know if you can see it, but that little spot right there, the night that I beat that guy up really bad, I took off running from the police because an ambulance came and the police showed up, and I took off running, and I grabbed a barbed wire fence and jumped over it, and it stabbed me in the hand. I skinned myself up. I got tased that night and all kinds of shit. They took me to jail. I've already told the story about how I got stabbed. I've already told the story about getting my jaw broke. Alcohol has just caused a lot of issues in my life. The DUIs, I've always been really quick to jump behind the wheel. But it's crazy because I've never felt like I was addicted to alcohol. I've never felt like I needed it. I've always just wanted it. I've always just wanted to get drunk. You see what I'm saying? When it comes to the opiates, I definitely got to a point where I felt like I needed that. And that's not a good feeling. That's not a good feeling, feeling like you need something and feeling like you can't stop. You can't just stop. You know, I haven't really, you know, for the past year, I've not been a drinker. I've not craved alcohol, it's a blessing. But I just don't care to drink. I don't care to get drunk anymore. Alcohol has caused me so much pain in my life. I've done things when I was drunk that I really regret. That's another thing I want to talk about. And I know you guys that have had alcohol problems know what I'm talking about. Everything I'm saying, I'm sure you can relate to it. The times that I've woke up the next day, because you know, sometimes you'll do really stupid shit, and sometimes it's things you can't take back. You know, people are only going to forgive you so much. And you wake up. The biggest thing I hated about alcohol was waking up that next day sober and thinking about what you did the night before, especially if you've done something messed up, and just sitting there and regretting that. I think that's what has always turned me off about alcohol, because I've always been the type, I can't just have one or two drinks. I'm that way with drugs too. I'm just that way. I'm an extreme guy. I'm an extreme person. Anything I do, I take it to the extreme. So that's why, like you see me with my fitness, I'm extreme with it. So that's why it's important for me to position myself in positive activities, because I can be extreme with the gym. That's a good thing to be extreme about. You know, if I was to take up any kind of hobby, like I strive to be the best at it. Like, I'm extreme about what I do. So, and it was no different with drugs and alcohol. I can't just have 2 or 3 drinks and go home and call it Uber. Hell no, I'm buying a bar. I'm getting a fucking pitcher. When that pitcher's done, I'm getting another one. I'm getting shots. I'm getting what the fuck ever, man. Like, I'm with it. And I'm out drinking all y'all. That's the type of person I was. So alcohol was never good for me. I could never control it. It was never good. Like, I've been in fights. I got in a fight in a bar one time with this guy because I thought he stole my cigarettes, and I punched him in the face. Dude smacked me with a pool stick in the arm. I just laughed at him. And he had a bunch of buddies there, and they was all stepping up, and, you know, I was squared off with them and shit. Like, they didn't come at me, but that could have turned out bad. I could have fucking got stomped out by 20 dudes. Like, but, you know, and my fear, there's no fucking fear, period. Like, you can get it when I'm drunk. You can get it anyways. You know, I ain't no pussy, but when I'm drunk, man, I'm not rational. I will punch you dead in your shit and not think twice about it. And that's not a good thing, guys. That's not a good thing. I really, I act very impulsive, and I can snap and get angry real fast and things like that, you know? Done a lot of things I regret with alcohol. Done a lot of things I'm not proud of. But anyways, guys, you already know what it is. Just a guy that decided to get on YouTube, share his life with the world. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. And as always, peace out.